Hey y'all. Okay, so I encourage people to leave at the first sign of a lie, the first sign that something is off with the person you're going out with. I strongly suggest you get out of Dodge. Now, if you want to stick around a little bit longer, you can. But the warnings you had in the beginning are going to get worse. They're going to get worse. And this person's behavior is going to get worse too. Because they feel like, hey, I showed you that I'm a dog and you stayed. I showed you that I can't be trusted and you stayed. So in a narcissist's mind, according to Lee Hammock, who is a narcissist, clinically diagnosed, Lee Hammock, it's mental healness. Mental healness is the name of his channel. And he said, if you stay around knowing that the person lied or cheated or whatever, and you forgive them, you are giving them permission to continue that bad behavior. Okay? So I'm going to give you a few examples. If I think of more, I'll tell you. Yeah. Some narcissists, not all, okay? But some narcissists live like a damn bum. They like it. They just can't live like a normal person, right? So there was one person I was seeing. He lived in Savannah, Missouri. And he had custody of his son. Why? I don't know, because number one, he has PTSD according to him, but I don't think it's PTSD from being in the military. It could be, but I don't know. But he appeared calm, cool, and collected, which I like, but he was far from it. He was a narcissist. I didn't know that at the time. He tried to triangulate me at one point. He tried to get jealous or act jealous when we went to a restaurant. But let's go back to him having custody of his son. His son lives with him, but he lives in a camper. You drive it like a mobile, whatever the hell you call it. And he had no running water. He had no hot water. You had to heat up water in a microwave in order to take a shower, wash yourself in the shower. You had to heat up water in a microwave. He also didn't want anyone using the bathroom. If you pee, that's fine. But the other thing, he ain't down for that, because he ain't trying to clear out I don't know the terminology, but he ain't trying to have, clean up all that in the tank or whatever the hell he had going on. So he wanted his son to use the bathroom at a campsite and, go to the actual office or use the bathroom on the property or whatever, wherever he decided to drive to at the time. Which you can't do that when you have custody of a child. Maybe now, because there's no laws anymore, but back in the day, you couldn't do that. Very moody. Didn't want to put up curtains in the camper. Didn't want to keep it clean. I was the one who kept it clean, which is not our responsibility. But he just, I don't know. When he was taking exams for college, I would help him with that. But it isn't my responsibility. He also had ants in it. Once you get ants, they're like sand. It's almost impossible to get rid of. I was the one that said, let's go get some spray, because didn't dawn on him that you should probably get spray. So we went to a restaurant. There were so many red flags, and these are all red flags, okay? Love the idea of boondocking. That just gave him a serious Woody. Just living wherever you happen to drive to. If you have a nice camper, that's different. But if you have a junky one, not so much, okay? Went to a restaurant and the manager said, "Hey, how you doing?" And real friendly. So we went and sat down and he said, "I don't play that." "You don't play what?" He's all grinning up in your face, da 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 da. "I don't play that. I don't play that." Now, he ain't never acted that stupid before. Come to find out, he got a little bit embarrassed because that was the manager of the restaurant. It's their job to greet you. Right. So he made himself look foolish. Another red flag. Myself, him, and his son went to a park. So we're walking around, we're exploring and that kind of thing. And he was in cahoots with his son and must have given him a signal for the two of them to go to the car and leave me at the park. Mind you, I've never been there before and I didn't drive. So it's not like I could say, "Oh, you're being an asshole. Let me go ahead and leave." He drove there. And him and the son, well, he told his son, "Come on, let's go." And it's like a little prank. That's not funny. That's not cute. So many red flags. When I look back on it now, knowing what I know now about narcissism, and I compiled so much knowledge into my head that he would never get away with that today. With the knowledge I have now, he would never get away with that. I'd be like, "You live in a dumpy trailer thing, camper thing, mobile home. I guess that's what you call it, whatever the hell it's called. And you don't have hot water? And you love the idea of, moving to the parents' property and they don't have electrical and they don't have water hookups." And you know what he said? "I'm looking forward to that." Do you understand why I should have been gone way before all that? The idea of scrubbing your clothes in a creek, that just gives him, whew! So excited, can't stand it. Sick. He's sick. He needs to find somebody who can not only handle his abnormal mood swings, which is typical of narcissists, I might add, but he also needs somebody who wants to live like Little House on the Prairie, where we wash our clothes by hand in the river. Okay? Not too many women are down with that because they kind of like washing machines. Kind of turns them on. So many red flags, and I stayed for about 9 months. And then 9 months too long. Shouldn't have been 9 minutes, to be quite honest with you. He's the same person who decided to ghost me just before my birthday and just before surgery because I told him, I took him to my doctor's visit. That was a massive mistake. He tried to take over the visit under the guise of care so much, and he asked a million questions, and under the guise of caring, like I said, and he didn't give two damns. He was just wanting to make my visit about himself. Okay? He wanted it to be about him. Who does that? Hold on. Who freaking does that? A narcissist does. So many red flags. Don't do like me. I'm smarter now. And I'll get rid of a guy in a heartbeat now. I would get rid of you before the first date now. That's how good I've become. But I was way tolerant back then, and I shouldn't have been. So I'm sharing my mistakes with you because I don't want you making the same mistakes I made back then. Another guy who was a narcissist that I didn't know, but I found out. He lied to me on the first time the first time we actually met in person and we actually went out to eat, he lied to me. I'm going to tell you what Lee says about narcissists lying and you forgiving. This is coming from the mind of a narcissist. Lee said, if you forgive them for cheating, they're going to continue to cheat. If you forgive them for lying, they're going to continue to lie because you forgave me when I lied before, so I could keep going. This is coming from Lee, who is a clinically diagnosed narcissist. So we went out to eat, and he said that his mother lived with him. Y'all already know where I'm going with this. I don't even need to tell you. You know. Okay? You know. No, let me backtrack. I'm sorry. Let me backtrack. He said he had a roommate. That's what it was. He said he had a roommate. That's what he told me. And he told me that in the car. So we went into the restaurant, and I said, well, tell me more about your roommate. Well, it's not really my roommate. It's my mom, and I live with her. And I don't know, I just wasn't hip to narcissism like I am now. It's almost like I was two different people. So back then, I thought you just being a jerk. And now I know that even if the person isn't a narcissist, but they like to lie, that is a characteristic of a narcissist. And that is a character flaw. That is not a oopsie. That's a character flaw. That tells me who you are. So it doesn't matter if they're bipolar, narcissist, multiple personality, as associative disorder, dissociative identity disorder, which used to be called multiple personality. It makes no difference what the verbiage is. That person is a liar. That is a character flaw. You should have zero tolerance for character flaws. Unless you're okay with somebody lying. And then more lies came into the picture later. And I said, before we finished eating, I said, do me a favor, don't ever lie to me again. But that's a character flaw. So of course he's going to lie again because that's who he is. That's who he is. Wow. He also said he was going to buy a house. He had no intention of buying a house. Are you crazy? He had zero intention of buying a freaking house. People who are buying a house, I've said this before, they are on the prowl. They are looking and hunting and searching and looking and driving around and driving around and driving around. And if they see a house on sale, they'll drive around the neighborhood so they can see what it's like. And is this going to be safe for me and or my kids? And, is the neighborhood in a place where it's easy to get access to stores and the hospital and the whatever? I mean, this is like a mission that you go on. That fool would look maybe once or twice a month. You know why? Because he's trying to stall because he wants his mother's house when she dies. And because she's a fucking idiot, she gives him everything. She treats him like a pseudo-husband. She cooks and cleans for him. His dinner is made by the time he gets home from work because her husband died and her son is her husband. So she got a few screws loose too. So the first red flag should have been done on the first personal meeting in person. The first red flag was he lied. And said, I have a roommate. And then he said, I don't have a roommate. I live with my mom. The reason he lied about that is because he was on a dating site. Nobody's surprised that he's a piece of shit on a dating site because they're loaded with those. The lies. He's waiting for her to die so that he could get the house. That's what it boils down to. But you should have zero tolerance for lies. I should never have tolerated his lies. Never should have tolerated. I should have said, okay, you're already starting off on a bad foot. So I'm out. I'm out. That's what I should have done. We were together for 4 months or so. I think 4 or 5 months. And it shouldn't have been a day. I shouldn't have been with him for a day. As soon as he popped that lie out of his face, I should have been done. So, back to the other fool for a minute. The reason why he wasn't allowed when I had surgery, he was not allowed to be a part of it because he acted like a horse's ass and made my doctor's visit all about him. And I should have kicked him out of there, but he drove there. So that's the problem. That's, if you ride with the person, that's an issue. I mean, so because he wasn't allowed, he started threatening me with, I'm going to find out who your doctor is, and I know she's a female, and there can't be so many females that specialize in this, and blah, 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 and I'll find her. She ain't going to tell your monkey ass nothing, bitch. She ain't going to tell you shit. That's a HIPAA violation. What the fuck? You don't threaten me with jack shit because I know she ain't going to tell you nothing. So go ahead. He was angry that I put my foot down and created boundaries. They can't stand boundaries. I don't give a shit what you can't stand. You ain't going. So he was pissed that I was going to have surgery and his dumbass wasn't invited. So he ghosted me before before my birthday and just before surgery. I survived just fine. Can you tell? I didn't need your dumbass. Okay? Trust me, I got a ride. I was good. It went well. Celebrated my birthday after surgery. Went out by myself, which is what I do every single year. Go out by my damn self because I'm the best company I have because nobody else can step up to the plate and be normal. What other red flags with other people? The guy who saved my number for 4 years, never used it. Can you feel the energy leaving my body? Called me out of or I think texted me and said, hey, how you doing? This is so-and-so. Sent me a picture. I said, I don't know who you are. And then he said my real name. I said, I think you have the wrong person. He said, I don't have the wrong person. And then he said my name. And I'm like, so I'm studying his picture like, do I even know him? And then it started coming back to me in slow motion. We talked on the site for a very short period of time. I left it alone. We kind of drifted apart. There was nothing really to drift apart. We didn't have a connection or anything. We talked like a few times and that was the extent of it. Well, he saved my number. Some narcissists, and yes, he's another one. Some narcs will save your number for literally years. So when they run out of, they're human parasites, okay? They're leeches. They have to leech on to people. They cannot be single. They cannot be single. Cannot. They cannot survive without leeching onto someone else. Okay? Called me out of the blue. He's the one that invited me to, I was smart this time. Y'all be proud of me. Did you be proud of me? Finally got a clue. I finally got a goddamn clue. Been studying narcs for years now. Finally got a clue. Wanted me to go to Kansas City, drive my car long distance to go see him at night by myself, don't know the area, while he sits on his throne and waits for me to get there, and then he's going to try to manipulate me out of my clothes later. I'm not dumb. I know that he wanted to go out at night for a reason. You know that song, The Freaks Come Out at Night? Exactly. I ain't dumb and I wasn't born yesterday. Now, one thing that will not happen is you're not going to get me intoxicated because I don't drink alcohol. So you have to try another devious plan because that won't work. Okay? I'm going to get her drunk. Next thing you know, she's going to be humping my leg. Next thing you know, I'm going to be tossing her up. You ain't tossing up no damn body, and you damn sure ain't tossing me up. Nice try. So he wanted, I said, I'm not really down for that because there's other things that I need to do and da 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 da. Well, that causes a narcissistic injury where the person is so mad at you because you squashed them like a bug. Some narcs will run away because you did boundaries. Other narcs will go into Operation Get That Person, and then once they get you to fall for them, they will dump you. Because I'm gonna give you punishment for giving me boundaries in the beginning. Who do you think you are? Nobody gives me boundaries. I'm a narcissist. Okay, that's how they think. How dare you give me boundaries? How dare you? How dare you try to get me to drive long distance and you don't give two shits about my safety and you want me to drive at night by myself into an unfamiliar area? That's not being a man. If you're a real gentleman, you would meet me in the daytime, not at night, where you could try to get me to drink and then, well, since we both got to drive long distance, we might as well get a hotel room. I ain't dumb and I ain't 12 and never been kissed. Get the freaking hell out of here. So, y'all be proud of me. I blocked him. This boy has 5 children. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 kids. And I'm thinking, what the hell went sideways that you got all them children and you ain't with nobody's, not a near mama, baby mama. You not with any of them if there's more than one or if there's only one. That's a lot of kids for you to be single. There's a reason you're behind is single with all them kids. So that was a red flag too. Not to say something couldn't have happened to his wife or something like that, but it's something with that hit me sideways. You have to pay attention to that. So I blocked him. I'm not going to, I see you're bullshitting me in the beginning. I see you trying to run game. You don't give a shit about my safety. Driving at night. No. Done. So I dumped him. Another person, so I went from staying with the loser for months, okay, and seeing all these red flags like glaring. This is one of my hospital socks you wear when you're in the hospital. They've got the little nubbies on there so you don't slip and fall. Let's pretend it's red. Red flags all everywhere, glaringly flying around, and I'm just like, whoop, 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 Don't make my mistakes that I made in the past. Don't do it. So I dumped a guy before. This is when I got smarter. I dumped a guy before we went out because I shared something special that was spiritual, and you do not smash someone's experience, their personal experience. And he did. He said, well, I think that's bullshit. So I blocked him. And, well, I was calm first. I didn't tell him I was blocking him. I just blocked him. But I distinctly remember saying to him, calmly, didn't get mad or nothing. I stayed calm. I said, just because it wasn't your personal experience, that does not mean it's bullshit. I don't remember the rest of the conversation because once you disrespect me on such a massive scale, the rest of the conversation goes like this in my head. Wah, 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 like Charlie Brown. Because I don't hear shit else because you've done enough. You've said enough. So I really don't, I hear your mouth moving, but I don't hear nothing coming out of it because I disconnect, okay? So then he complained to a mutual friend of ours and said, she dumped me before we went out, blah, 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 this, blah, blah, that, and blah, blah, blah. And she said, well, she said that she shared something spiritual with you and you told her that was bullshit. And he said, and I quote, that does sound like something I would say. But he got his feelings hurt. I don't care. I don't give two shits about your fucking feelings. I've never been dumped before I went out with the person. First time for everything. Okay. Another person that I knew, but I didn't get rid of him right away, but I should have, but I got rid of him within, I knew him for about several days, okay? We did meet in person. Okay. We went out to eat. Never, no sexual connotations on the phone, no dropping hints or anything on his part, because I don't do that on his part. Until we went out in person and we got something to eat. And he said, I like your shirt. So y'all gonna remember this. Those of you that have watched my videos for a while, you're gonna remember this. I like your shirt. I said, oh, thank you. And then he had to take it too far because men don't think. I like your boobs in that shirt. You know what? I do not remember the rest of the conversation after that because I disengaged. Again, wah, 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 because the way you're talking is so out of control. He tried to force, you know what? And I've been through this a couple times where he did the same thing, try to hold my hand. You don't, okay, let's, I've talked about this before. Do not try to force somebody to hold your hand, okay? Because it's not organic, it's not natural, it's not natural. It's not natural. Okay? Now, if we happen to be walking, say our hands are, our arms are down, but our hands are near each other, and we are walking and I just happen to grab your hand, then hold my hand by all means. Let the woman make the move. Don't be a monster. Don't grab her hand like we gonna hold hands today. That's not the way to do it, bud. That's not the way we do. Okay? And he tried, another person I went out with, I can't remember who it was. We went to a movie and he tried that shit. Holding my hand against my, holding it, and it's awkward as hell because it wasn't welcomed. It's kind of like nonverbals. You gonna hold my hand. And you're gonna learn to like it. Okay, predator. Not. We're not doing that. It's not natural. But the one that said, I like your boobs in that shirt, his mother, I told y'all this before, and if you haven't heard it, cool. If you've heard it, maybe you want to go get something to drink or whatever because you've heard it before. His mother is a child. She's cheated on her father, on his father, the husband, cheated on him, flirts with other men in front of his face. She has no filter whatsoever. She said, to her son, the one who thinks he's women's dad, you need to get your teeth fixed because you look like a crackhead. What? She obviously doesn't know what a crackhead looks like. Is his face sunken in like this? Sunken in, bones sticking out, teeth all jacked up, teeth missing. His teeth didn't look like that. She obviously has no idea what the fuck she's talking about. She doesn't have a filter. I don't know. I'm not trying to be funny when I say this. I'm serious. I don't know if it's because she's slow, but she has zero social skills, zero social manners. So we're not surprised that your son is just like yo ass. When you deal with this in the beginning, like I said, I made these mistakes years ago. I don't do it anymore, but I want to be transparent with you and let you know that I was super tolerant and I was super too tolerant, just way too forgiving, and I'm not now. I'm not. I will drop your ass quicker than I met you. So I've made a massive difference from putting up with it for months and months and months, and it just gets worse and worse and worse, to, what did he say to me on the phone? Oh no, we're done. We're done. Mr. That's bullshit. My spiritual, experience with God, that's bullshit. Well, if you didn't think you were God, you'd believe me. Anyway, I had my hair in we're on a float trip, and I have my hair in 2 braids, and he said, I think that's a weave. I bet that's a weave. I bet that's a weave. What business is it of anybody's if it's a weave or not? And, I think I was so stunned by his lack of social etiquette. I think I was so stunned by that I didn't respond. I just stood there looking at him. I bet that's a weave, and here's me. And I'm just looking at him like, I don't even know what to say to that. Also, if you notice, some men, so-called men, who have a problem with lashes, weaves, any kind of hair pieces, makeup, anything that women like because it's nails, anything that women like because it's fun, and they have a major beef with it, chances are that person is a narcissist. And this might surprise you. It's not, if they sound like a narcissist, because a healthy person doesn't do that. They don't give a shit if you wear a hat that looks like Big Bird from Sesame Street. They don't care if your hair is made of straw. They don't care if you're bald except for a couple of strands going down the middle and the back of your head like a mohawk. A healthy person doesn't give a rat's ass. So somebody who's got a beef with it, I don't like, you're not going to dress like this, you're not going to wear makeup, you're not going to wear no weave, you're not going to wear no jewelry, you're not going to... Chances are they're toxic as hell. And let me tell you something else that may surprise you. Even if you obey the rules and your hair is all natural, you don't wear makeup, you don't wear jewelry, you dress like a fucking Betsy Ross or like somebody from the 1800s, you wear a dress with your neck up to here and the dress all the way to your ankles, and you sweep the house, the cottage and everything, and send him off to get meat like men did, Even if you obeyed his rules, he's still gonna be pissed. You know why? Let me drop a bomb on you. He's still gonna be pissed off because, number one, that's his nature to be mad. That's his nature because he's a toxic motherfucker. So it's his nature to be mad. Number one. Number two, it's not about your hair, your makeup, your weave, your jewelry. It ain't about that. It's about control. That's what it's really about. It's about control. Ain't got shit to do with your makeup or your hair, whatever. There's a lady on YouTube. Her hair is 1000% natural. She said, guys don't hit on me. And she's cute. Guys don't hit on her. So obviously they don't know what the fuck they want. Pardon my French, because they get on my goddamn nerves. I want natural. I want natural. I want natural. She's 1000% natural. Y'all don't even give her the time of day. But somebody with a weave down to her ankles and makeup on, lashes that are way out here from her face, you like, hey girl, hey. So don't listen to their toxicity. And if they can't accept you for who and what you are, go to hell. Tell them to go straight to hell. Okay? There's a man, and I'm going to let y'all go. It's on TikTok, but they showed clips of it on YouTube. He's sexy as hell, I ain't gonna lie. The man is sexy. Okay? He's fine. He's fine as hell. Anyway, and he's smart, which makes him 1,000 times more smart. Intelligence turns me on. And I don't mean pretending to be intelligent so you can manipulate people. He's smart. He was married before. He has a kid, or I don't know how many kids he has. But he was married before his wife died of cancer, which is really sad. Okay? It hurts me, and I don't even know his wife. But he said dating is just, I don't remember the word he used, but he didn't say it sucks, but that's how he feels. Dating is just not where it's at. And I'm like nodding my head, like, I know. Trust me, I know. He said, and all these dudes, and this is coming from a man, all these dudes sitting here talking about, I don't like weed, men don't like weed. And because he's responding to another clip of a guy talking about, I don't like no weed, I don't like no lashes, I don't like no fingernails, long fingernails. He said, I don't care about none of that. So, first of all, and this is what he said, first of all, he don't need to speak for all men because all men don't think alike. I'm like, thank you. He said, bro, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Don't be throwing all men in the same category. Okay? Because he said, if I want you to be my woman, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember his exact words, but if I want you to be my woman, at the end of the day, all that comes off anyway. And I'm going to see you the way you are underneath all that. So I really don't care what you do or what you wear. Real men don't care about that. And I'm like, whoo! Ain't that the truth? Real men don't trip off that. Real men don't trip off that. And even if, take the weave and the lashes out of the conversation. Even if you obey him on everything else. I want meatloaf on Wednesdays. I want fried chicken on Friday. And on Monday, I want, I don't know, spare ribs, grilled ribs or whatever. Even if you do all of that, you wrote it down so you don't forget. He wants this on this day. He wants that on that day. He wants this on that day. And you put it on the calendar and you tape that crap on the kitchen wall so you don't forget. He's still going to be mad. For the same reasons he got a problem with the weave and this and that, even though you don't do none of that. He got a problem with it because he has to be in control. So you go by the schedule that's on the wall, on the calendar. This is what he wants for this day. This is what he wants on this day. And I got to make sure I give it to him. And you do all of that. Cross your T's, dot your I's, bow down when he comes in from work. He's still going to be angry. Not because you don't behave, but because he likes being angry and because he's toxic. So, honey, if you want to be Cher and have your hair all the way down to your goddamn ankles, baby, you do it because it makes you happy. If somebody's shallow and they think that that's all your personality located in your damn hair, if he wants to be that dumb, he can stay way over there and be dumb. Real men don't care. Real men don't care. Real men also don't trip and smack down rules and regulations. I want this done. I want that done. I want my feet rubbed when I walk in. I want my beer. I want my newspaper or whatever he needs. And I want you to have my dinner ready as soon as I walk in the door. You could do every last bit, every single one of that. All of that. He's still going to be mad. Because he's an angry, toxic individual. So you're never going to please him. Wear your hair all the way to the goddamn floor, girl. Wear your lashes so big that they could be windshield wipers when you're out in the rain. You do what the freaking hell you want to do because you can't make him happy no way. And you get rid of him, kick him to the curb. Don't give him more than 5 seconds notice. Done before we get started. Okay? That's my girl. Y'all do it. You do the damn thing. Y'all take care. Bye.